Welcome to Speaking in Spoons with your host, Christina Brookman.
Hi, welcome to a Spoonie Sunday with Speaking in Spoons, a chronically ill podcast. I'm your host, Christina Brookman. I know it's been a while since I've done a Spoonie Sunday. I've been having a lot of health stuff going on. So we've had to take, you know, breaks off and on. And most recently, I got COVID. Um, and it's been an interesting experience because um it really hit me hard, which I wasn't surprised given, a lot of my medical stuff, most particularly asthma. I have asthma. Um but and I get bronchitis pretty bad with it. But you know, um I've had it for or been dealing with the symptoms for like 3 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks. And people just keep being like shocked. Like, my uncle had that, or my brother had that, or I had it, and I only had it for 7 days. Why aren't you better yet? Um, and it just reminds me a lot of our journey with chronic illness and disability, how a lot of times we're not believed or taken seriously, or things we have aren't taken seriously. Um, and there's almost like a trauma with that, like a trigger, like, why aren't you listening to me or believing me? This is real. This is a real experience. And so many people, like, COVID affects people, every single person differently, you know? Every single person is affected differently. I have pre-existing conditions, like with asthma. I also found out I have a problem with one of the lobes in my lungs, going into this, you know, but even without pre-existing conditions, before we had vaccines, a lot of people, there were perfectly, I remember the guy on Broadway, perfectly healthy specimen of like health, dancing 7 nights a week. You would think somebody like this just would not have that kind of reaction. And I remember when he had the blood clots and his leg was amputated, and then, he went into a coma, and then eventually, um, and then he passed away. And it was just, and he was young. He was like in his 40s, I think, had a, wife, young child. And um, so it just really makes me want to remind people out there. And I know those of you listening who deal with illness and disability, you kind of already know this, but sometimes we forget too, and as a reminder for us and for those, you have a loved one or a friend um, that's struggling. Everybody is affected differently. So just because you're like, oh, you have MS, I know MS, you don't know this person's journey with MS. Oh, you have Ehlers-Danlos, I have Ehlers-Danlos, or I read about Ehlers-Danlos in a magazine, but you don't know my journey with Ehlers-Danlos. Every single person is affected differently. My mom and I both have it, and we're both affected differently. There's a lot of similarities, but it's, everybody's different. And that's something that needs to be respected, and people need to be supported, and not have to feel like we're constantly defending what we have and what we're experiencing. Validation and support is everything. I mean, I'm still struggling to breathe. We did our first interview today, in a while, and I am I'm struggling to breathe. So let me get my inhaler here. But I also Nate and I are super excited because we've got so many interviews that we've done that we can't wait to release. Some that we're sitting on because we're waiting to get other ones done. And because we've had to take breaks for me, some stuff's going to go into next season, but we're doing a whole series on non-traditional medicine. We just did an interview on massage. We've got an interview coming up on voting and disability, since November 7th is coming up, people. And keep in mind, how voting affects the disability community and how important our vote is. And we've got some amazing people that are coming on to share their story. And just a reminder, if you would like to share your story or have a loved one that would like to share their story, you can always contact us at speakinginspoons@gmail.com. Or if you have an idea for an episode, a special topic that you would like us to do in our upcoming third season, send us an idea. We'd love that. And save your spoons. Support your people. Save your spoons. Thank you.
If you want to contact us, please send a DM or email to speakinginspoons@gmail.com with any stories you have or would like to interview with us on any of our upcoming topics. And check out our website for all of our upcoming episodes and what's happening in the Speaking in Spoons community at www.speakinginspoons.com. Thank you for listening to Speaking in Spoons, and have a great day.